So that might be the lesson. What's the biggest what would change if what would change if you were able to be more in control of the final result? Things happen, things change, things go
Well,
the way.
I mean, the way I see it,
Go ahead.
you got cut out there.
Okay.
No, I didn't hear what you said because you got cut out.
So you were going to say the way that I see it. So yeah, what would change if the guilt wasn't there anymore? What would change if you didn't feel that way? What would be the upgrade, I guess would be the question. What would be the upgrade for that particular scenario?
Well, maybe could be to change the way I look at things on the very things that quote unquote prevent me from doing the work in the moment,
Okay.
or I let them prevent me, as something that can be done anyway. I just
Mhm.
prefer to do it in a certain setting. So for example, what happened last night, which is actually what keeps so that's the thing that usually guilt trips me, is that I came to the lake and I
Mhm.
wanted to talk to you, and people came over, not to my knowledge, till I saw them there, obviously. And then we get talking. It's my dad and Mitch. So I keep looking at them, thinking, are these guys gonna leave at some point? Because the brother and sister went home, so I'm there, by myself and with them. And I'm like, do these guys have like social IQ? Like it's time for you guys to wrap up. And then, one call jumps in, and then I got to walk, and then I got to do this and that and so on. And then on the one side, like, well, I was spending time with my dad, right? On the other side, I'm like, when I come to the lake, I like to be doing some stuff. So why are you guys? It's like that it's like it's their fault. And I know it's not, because I can just say, well, hey, listen, man, we can have a short chit chat, like 20 minutes or whatever, and then I gotta go work because I gotta go do something. And then it happened like that a couple of times. I was talking to you, and either my dad or Mitch or both of them or my brother or somebody else would come by, and they would be sitting right next to me. And every once in a while, I would kind of like look at them. So am I a POS for doing my thing because they came to see me? Otherwise, they wouldn't be at the lake anyway. And then I'm like talking with you or talking with Andrew, talking with somebody else, doing anything, and they're sitting there by themselves. So that's the how I saw it anyway. Work on that non part, both the non-negotiables and non-apologetic that you told me last year. So I was like, you know what? Well, let's see what we got here. So is that
So
funny?
this is
I mean, is that like
it.
batshit crazy or is I
No,
don't
it
even know.
makes sense. It's part of the pattern, right? This is the same thing that would happen whenever you would go travel. You got to go see everybody, and it takes up the day or the 2 days before you leave because you got to go see everybody. Kind of the same pattern. So
Yeah.
all that to say, there's nothing wrong with it. The only thing that's wrong with it is the way you review it. It's about not being present. Now, unexpectedly, if you've got an appointment, you say, "Hey, listen, I need 20 minutes of uh personal time." I've got an appointment, right, that I need to go take care of. The challenge is that this is for everybody. The fact that it's labeled friends come see me at the lake when I had other plans. Distraction comes sees people in their hallway when they had plans on leaving the hallway. The closer you get to leaving the hallway, the closer you get to leaving your current identity, the more the guard shows up and says, "Are you ready?" No problem. The guard's not keeping you from it. And that's why we make it guilt. We think we were the problem. We weren't really the problem. We weren't the problem because we didn't have the solution. We didn't use the solution. Nothing wrong with that. If you give me, I don't know, if you give me a solution to a problem and I don't use it, that's not the problem. The problem is my desire, my conversion, my flexibility. So I think it's a great tool. I think it's a great experience. It's changed. It's a, how would you say it? It's a tiger dressed up in different clothes. Before it used to be when you'd leave to go on trips and traveling. Now it's just patterns. It just keeps showing up in different places. It's like liquid. It shows up in a place that it fills the container. Let me just put it that way. Liquid will always fill the container, whatever shape the container is. So it's a good thing. And I love that. I love the fact that they came to see me at the lake. That's valuable. That's amazing. That's awesome. They came to see me at the lake. Well, I had other plans. Yeah, but there's moments that I can either take 15 minutes and step aside and say, listen, I've got something that's a highest priority that I had planned before y'all schmucks showed up that I need to go take care of. I'm glad you're here. Now the question then becomes, is our growth when we're in a particular situation, is the growth that we are planning, the growth that we're having, is it okay for us to have it? Because it takes two to tango. It takes two to dance. The great news is that you even have this awareness, right? That's the thing that many times we don't understand, or we lose track of, is that we only get sad or excited about something that's different. Does that make sense? We only get sad about something that's we only have emotions over something that's different. We have the 12 sheep. If a new sheep showed up tomorrow, a new baby lamb showed up tomorrow, which would be quite confusing, yet if it did, that would be a surprise. If we lost a sheep, God forbid, yesterday, that would be a surprise. The surprise is only our definition of it. So I say that to share the fact that they came to see you. That's awesome. The fact that they got to see each other, right, is awesome. You were their excuse to go have fun. It's all right. Nothing wrong with that. Yeah, but I want to do the other things. I get it. You get it. It's understood. This is where at a moment, and this same thing happens when you arrive at success, right? Napoleon Hill, you'll wonder where it was during all the lean times. This is why you talk to millionaires, you talk to people who are wildly successful, and the first question they're usually asked in an interview, what was it like when you first got excited? Well, I lost my first million. The most people who are wildly successful say, well, I lost my first million when I was 32, when I was 26, when I was 58. I lost my first million. We're always going to, we're always, what we have is always going to slip through our fingers until we know how to grasp it without hurting it, without crushing it, without destroying it. It just happens. It's why we have memories. Memories are our way of paying attention to a moment. It's why as we get older, and you might be experiencing this a little bit at your ripe old age of mid-20s. The reason people who are older always say, "Oh my God, time is flying," it's because they have done so much of the same thing. There's no breaks in it. There's no milestones in it. There's no mile markers in it. There's no indicators that you are having memories of significance. That's why you'll wake up some days and you go, "Oh my God, it's only 10 o'clock," because you were busy. So all of it's good. In the matter of your legacy of 400 years, 100 years, of 3 generations, does one day really, is one day worth you not living the legacy that you're designed to live? It's all good. It's all good. We're here. We're here now.
Smarty pants. But that's just how that works, pal, out there. But yeah, and it's interesting some of the stuff that has been happening that we are going to go well into detail today, I promise.
Excellent.
That really dug in deep into some holes out there and really made me think and even rethink through some stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and they are just fascinating.
Isn't it?
Mostly what had happened was just the dynamics of stuff
Mm-hmm.
and how certain news and certain pillars kind of want to get translated into other pillars. And it's just difficult to, because one pillar may be speaking Serbian, the other one may be speaking English. So it's you got several wolves fighting up in there for territory. So it was really interesting, and then to see how people react. So people in my life reacted to that whole shift in dynamic, and then you couldn't say it any better when you messaged me, and I told that to Andrew. I was like, this guy got some Arkansas voodoo kind of whatever they got going on over there. Because at the time of the peak of it all, so this has
Mm-hmm.
been going on for several days, even a week and a half, 2 weeks maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And then the peak of it was on Tuesday. And then on Tuesday, after a portion of it was done, and I was able to move on from a portion of it, not the whole thing, portion,
Mm-hmm.
you message me and you say, I feel as if something's going on, some transition. And I said, oh, baby, we got a transition, all right. We got multiple of those. So that was just crazy to see and to witness how that works firsthand in real life, right? So, oh yeah, the lots to talk about and to discuss. And I know by now, after 6 years, I know that my misfortune will amuse you a lot. But then we're gonna go through it all and hopefully solve it. I'm kidding, but yeah, it was very interesting to
I
see
love it.
that stuff.
Love it, love it, love it. Can't wait. I do have a 9:30 that's an appointment I need to be at. So 3 hours from now. Um yeah. And then that'll be an hour. And then anything other than that, I'm just here at the ranch. Let me know.
All righty.
And I will carry my phone and look at it like a teenage girl waiting on her boyfriend to call.
That's that's a picture I want to get out. I'm gonna need some therapy to forget that. I'm kidding. All righty, I'll message you later.
I love it. Thanks, brother. Who else? Thoughts, comments? And so if you've got a question, go ahead and just raise your hand or jump in. The reason that what you just heard, it's so easy. It's so easy. It's so easy for us to say, well, but that's not me. That didn't happen in my life. That's not the thing that's not the thing that's troubling me. I'll bet $1 to donuts that the delay that's going on in your life would still be called a delay. It's just a delay. It's not a done. It's not a you missed it. You haven't missed a thing. Last night was the lunar eclipse in over like Minnesota and different places, that path that it took last night. I might have been able to see something from here. When I realized it was happening, I was in bed. I'm like, I don't know when the next lunar eclipse will be, but I bet it won't be a year from now or 2 years from now. So something that is pretty significant, something that is newsworthy, something that people travel to, wasn't important for me. I doubt that I would have gone to see the total eclipse that happened in 2024 if it hadn't happened right over the ranch. It literally came right over the ranch. We had a full total eclipse here in 2024. I don't know that it moved my body enough that I would go travel 5 hours or get on a plane to go watch another one. There's people that are eclipse chasers. So my question to you is two things. One, are you willing to chase your dreams? We hear that all the time. They got bumper stickers that say that stuff. And then the challenge is if you're in sales, if you're in the conversion of helping people have more, the bigger question is, are they willing to chase theirs? Have you ever asked that question? I asked that question in a two-part question. In the last 6 months, what events, books, or trainings have you attended to help you reach your goals? In the next 6 months, if we pulled out your calendar and we looked at your plan for the next 6 months, how many events, how many sessions, how many training sessions, how many mentoring sessions, how many coaching sessions do you have set up in the next 6 months that you can reach that are going to help you reach your dreams? The majority of people I speak to have zero in both of those questions. They haven't done anything in the past, and they don't really have anything scheduled in the future. So if they really haven't done anything in the past and they really have nothing scheduled for the future, the question then would be, are you really wanting to chase your dreams? Because now the burden's on me. I see you have potential. I see you have skills. I see you have talents. I see you have all of these things. And I hear you telling me you want to do all these things. Yet there's no evidence that that's even anything you want to do. So if I were to ask you right now, do you have a journal? One of the things you'll find is that some way, somehow, someplace, successful people log their journey. Otherwise, they're doomed to repeat it. If you've ever done something, oh God, oh, I knew that. I forgot about that. I knew I should have done that. I know you shouldn't do it that way. Well, if you look back over the last decade and you're kind of repeating things, it's because you haven't written them down. It's because you literally wanted to keep doing it this way. Why? Because it's part of your identity. You'll find that people will rip the fabric of time and space. I don't know that that's possible, but it seems like it is, in order to maintain their identity. That's why as we get older, people don't want to get older, because they want to maintain their I'm 29 in 32 years. I'm whatever. They want to, it's part of maintaining their identity. They don't want to have to deal with retraining everybody around them and giving this new story or having to explain why they changed and nobody else did. So, no biggie. When's the best time to plant a tree? 20 years ago. When's the next best time? Today. Now, the challenge is you can't go plant a tree in a forest and hope it grows. The canopy covers up the sun. The tree's got to be strong enough to be able to survive the transplant. And that's what leaving the hallway does. You are transplanting yourself. The challenge is we want to transplant everything that's us into the new hallway. I have, I don't know, 20 maple trees that I grew from the seeds. If you've ever been around a maple tree, they have what I call the little helicopter pods. They're seeds, have the seed in it, and it's got this little tail on it, and it's only maybe an inch long. And when it blows off the tree, it helicopters, so it moves it away from the tree. Amazing design, and God's amazing. So we have these maple trees out in front of the house here, and a couple other around the property. And when those seeds were about to get blown off, they were dried and they were prepared to go be put in the ground. I went and picked 50 of them. Some of them it was too early, some of them it was too late, whatever. I got 20 maple trees that came from seeds from the trees here on the ranch. Well, they're going to be a year old in spring. Well, this fall they're going to be a year old because that's when I planted them. They're not ready to go in the ground yet. They're in their pots. They're in their training wheels. When I do plant them next spring, I need to mark them so I don't mow them down. They're only about, well, maybe next spring they'll be maybe 1.5 feet tall. If you're not used to having a tree in that spot, a little thing in that spot, you'll mow it down. You'll run it over. So my question to you is, when you transplant into this new place, what are you doing to make sure you're safe? That's your daily affirmations. Without daily affirmations, mine or somebody else's, you saying your own daily affirmations, there's going to be a challenge psychologically why those don't work. A proven psychology why those don't work. It doesn't work by saying I am this, I am that, is because your body instantly looks for the answer to the I am and says, no, you're not. The guard says, no, you're not. I mean, maybe you think you are. Can you be? Absolutely, 100%. This is a Wallace D. Wattles explanation of it's not about saying, I am rich, I am a grand poobah in my network marketing business. It's about the frequency with which you say it. It's not about saying it. It's about the certain way you do that. And most people are never taught the certain way. Most people never seek the certain way because my way doesn't work for you. Your way works for you. And the biggest way that will give you a benefit of it working is by it not being your voice. By it being a voice of one you like to hear, one you give authority to, one you say, yeah, that's a good thing. Questions, comments, thoughts. Otherwise, I'll just keep yapping and tomato cage. Yeah, that's a great example, Chad. I like tomato cages. And you can find a lot of different kinds of tomato cages. The ones that Vivor sells that folds up, the square ones, the triangle ones that we've all used. Sometimes people will turn them upside down and then stake the big round part to the ground because the bottom of the bush gets fatter than the top of the bush. I love it. Tomato cages are a great example. Now, here's the challenge. If people have never grown tomatoes, they don't know what the heck a tomato cage is. I bet there's people, maybe not. I bet everybody on the call knows what it is. Maybe not. I bet there's one or two people on the call that don't even know what a tomato cage is. They've heard about them. They've seen them. They've never used them. That's another great example. People have all of these books, all of these trainings, all of these tools. When's the last time you looked at one of your journals? You can read all the books you want. The reason that you read other books, this one might sting a little. The reason that you read other people's books is because your book doesn't have the answers in it. I can promise you, your journal would have the answers in it. I believe that most people are wired to leave clues for themselves. You leave clues on how to get out of your own hallway. How to get out of your own mess. And if you don't write down those clues, if you don't write down those ahas, if you don't write down those awarenesses, things happen that you repeat a lot of the same things. The question is what happens if you stop repeating? You've got to be fully focused, fully aware, because you're in the unknown. And the unknown takes our attention. The unknown takes our attention. That's what we're all hoping for. Something that I'm ready for it takes our attention. I'm ready for it. I've prepared for it. Let's go. Let's go do that thing. I'm going to be successful. We want it to take our attention. That's what a definite major purpose does. It takes your attention. The reason we don't say it every day, twice a day, the reason we don't do the things, we don't do the walking 20 minutes a day, we don't do the 2 push-ups a day, we don't do the water a day, we don't do the fill in the blank a day, read 10 pages of a good book every day, is because it doesn't take our attention. We call it distraction. It doesn't take our attention. How do I know you're familiar with things that take your attention? If you've ever been in love, if you've ever been infatuated, if you've ever couldn't get enough of another person, they took your attention. I remember with Michelle 28 years ago. Is it that long now? Could be. On some of our first calls, talking at 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning. I'd leave the restaurant and it'd be midnight, 1 a.m. and call her on the phone. And she was waiting. And we'd talk till 2 or 3 in the morning. It took my attention. I wasn't tired. I was tired the next day. I wasn't tired then. I didn't have enough sense to, hey, listen, nice to hear your voice. Bye. No, you hang up. No, you hang up. All right, I'm going. I got to go to bed. I got to go to bed. I got to get up in 2 hours. Me too. All right. Come on. We got to get up in an hour now. We got to go to bed. It's why it's a must to fall in love with this new version of us, this new potential of us. And that's when people start going, what's up with you? Have you lost your mind? Because you have fallen in love with you, and they think because you fell in love with yourself, you're selfish. It's all good. It's all good. The key is to start to look for the things. What are the lessons? Hi, Dubby. I know. What's the lessons that you're being given that aren't the delay, that aren't the distraction? What's the lesson that you're being given in love and kindness and joy that's going to take you to the next level? That's all. Any other thoughts, comments, questions, takeaways? Who thought tomato cages would be a great teaching example? We did. They always are. Anyone else? Last thoughts, comments, questions? Hi.
Hey, Sean.
Hey, Jello.
Hey, hey. Did you see the posting on Facebook?
Which one?
We met at San Antonio 8 years ago.
Oh my gosh, did that? I haven't seen that. Was that today or yesterday?
A few days ago.
Okay, no, it didn't pop up. I'll have to look for it. What, 8
Yeah.
years?
8 years ago in San Antonio, but
Yeah.
we met in Dallas about 8.5, 9 years ago before that.
Yep. Wow.
Isn't that something?
That's crazy. That I wouldn't have guessed it was that long ago.
It is.
Wow.
But
My
the
life
only
was-
reason why
my life
I'm
was made
laying
my life
down
was
is
made
I
better than
got a
that.
hernia.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've had one for a long time. I finally got it fixed. And they
Okay.
found two.
Not surprising you. You always want to outdo things.
What's that?
You always want to be extra special when you do stuff. So I'm not
Oh,
surprised you
I'm
had.
spatial. You're spatial too.
Yeah, I'm very special. I got special friends.
Us Midwesterners.
Yes, I hear you. Well, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're mending. That's important. I'm glad you're mending.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go head home for a little while.
Okay.
Go drive up in Indiana,
There you go. Where you at now?
Tennessee.
Okay.
Yeah, I have been working
Okay.
on a. I'll if you got time later on, or maybe tomorrow, next day or something.
Okay.
I got something to show you.
Okay.
FaceTime you.
Okay. Sounds good.
Awesome.
I love
Love
it.
you.
Thanks, brother.
You too.
Anyone else? Thoughts, comments, questions, takeaways? I guess mics wear out. This mic is 9 years old. I don't know if it wears out from daily use. I guess they do. I might have to look at a new mic.
Hey, just something off topic.
Yes.
I just remembered. The other day, I was having a conversation with somebody, and we were talking about the trips to the U.S.
Yep.
So the person tells me the story of how they, you know, first got to America, and I tell them, well, my first time, oh, baby, that was. So I tell them the story, flying over there, visa gets dismissed at first, refused, then I get it, then I go over there, fly across the ocean for the first time, and so on and so forth. And then I tell them the whole story about, Little Rock and tornadoes and power outage and the 3 block area in the whole town. And I'm in those 3 blocks. And then the whole thing, the rain for days on. And then we had to go to Charlie's place, so on and so forth. So we were just talking about all that. And their first time was magical, man. Their first time was like in a movie, man. They came on there It was, sun was shining. They just had the best time ever. And I said, in the midst of all that chaos, I had the best time ever. And so I just got reminded of all those things. So I just wanted to tell you that was crazy last year.
Well,
That was crazy.
and again, it's by comparison. Could it have been worse? Could have been a lot worse. Could it be better? Yeah. So now it just is. Now it's a badge of honor, right? What Paulo Coelho, the author from the book Manuscript Found in a Craw, or Acura, however you say that, I say a craw. He says the scars you carry are stronger than the sword that made them. I think it's a challenge that most people, their first trip, right? This is what happens in network marketing. Oh my gosh, I got in and I went to the top. They'll never be able to duplicate that. The timing is never the same. So I love that was brought to your awareness, because you now you have a story that most people would never go back. They get out of the hallway, they go into the new hallway, they get their hand slapped, they get all of these things that they're like, if this is what success feels like, I'm going back to what I know. And most people never excel. Most people never transform. We all want, I need change in my life. We want to transform, but we have to actually, I don't know why I can't be heard. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Did I ever cut out for you? I don't know. I'm cutting out for folks.
Nope.
Okay. Isn't that interesting? Fascinating. So anyway, so yeah, I love your first trip here. I love your second trip here too. I got some grass.
Oh, it's even better. Oh, and then yes, we also need to discuss that. That's let me add that to my notes file. SGM 1B1 topics. Discuss itinerary. That's yeah. The first time around, man, I just remembered that the other day as I was talking to this person, and I do not see it as a bad time. I mean, one iota, because when I was there, sure, it's freaking tornado rainstorm out there. My cards are not working there. The US vendors are not accepting European cards for some reason, in my case at least. Can't get any food. Silky comes on and she buys me food, gets me a DoorDash. So buy lunch tomorrow. So on and so forth. And then we go over there. We got rain. We got the mud, the whole thing. I'm sleeping in a tent. I'm like, what's going on here? But those couple of days, even before going back to Little Rock and spending a couple of days there and then going to Chicago, even those couple of days just coming there and then spending the first 4 or 5 days on the ranch, just that section, that first part of the trip left me with stories for life. I mean, it's just, and I don't see one bad thing about it, because when I look back at it now, I'm like, you uh were in an airplane that was surpassing a tornado in Arkansas. And I'm not sure I know a lot of people that have done that. And then the whole thing, that happened afterwards. So
Yep.
I don't necessarily see it in a bad way. Sorry. And I was
Well,
just
no.
listening to a video the other day
Yep.
with Hermosi and Chris Williamson, and they talk about this adversity, and everybody is going through a tough time, and everybody is on pills, and they got antidepressants going on and whatever. And then the guy says the worst thing that happened to you is the worst thing that happened to you. And if that worst thing that happened to you is somebody misspelling your name at a Starbucks, you're in for the long haul over here, pal, because you're gonna have some problems going forward. But then if some of the worst things that happened to you were, almost getting your leg chopped off, or flying into a tornado, or whatever, um, just stop being a little B word and just just get on with it. So it was real fun to go back and kind of play that movie again. So I thank you for being a great host and making sure it was all running smoothly over
I
there.
love it. Hey, listen, all you can do is all you can do. The challenge is most people's all they can do is a hell of a lot less than all they could do. The Navy SEALs proved it. When they ring the bell, when they ring out of Bud Camp, going to Navy SEAL training, they've checked the body, and the body, they've used up about 46% of the body's energy. And they said, I can't do another thing. It's all mental. The majority of it is the reason they ring out is mental. They don't have control over their thoughts, period. And it's why we ring out of achieving our success, of getting out of the hallway. I don't want to get out of the hallway. I'm going to stay here. I'm just going to be this person. I guess I'm not meant for it. God's got a sense of humor. God's not mean. And you don't have dreams that you can't achieve. If you have a dream, it's possible. The thing that requires the dream to come true is that you actually transform. You actually transfer into this new version. And most people aren't willing to do that. The majority of people are never trained how to do that. Adversity is what trains us to do that. I don't know that I'd have no problem, or that I don't know what I'd say if I'm in a hospital fighting for my life and I see the guy in the bed die next to me. And then they leave him there for 24 hours. I don't know. That's a story that goes through my head a lot. And it's your story. Why do I think about that? Because I don't know anybody, and I know a lot of people. I've come in contact with a lot of people. I'm sure maybe there are some people who were in situations in a hospital where the person in the bed died, and next to them died. I don't know. Nobody's ever told me that story. You're the only one on the planet out of 6 billion people, 7 billion people. You're the only one I know has that story. I pray I'll never have to do that. But if I'm ever in that situation, I'm going to call you going, hey, listen, I'm in a situation where this could happen. What do I do? You'd be like, that was 2 decades. Just get through it. You're not the one dying. You'll say things that are just obvious, but yet because my brain is in a different place, and it's a story, it's a new thing that's going to happen in my life, it's a new scar I'm going to carry, I don't know how to work with it. So I think it's good to we relive some of the old stories, and as we relive them, the ones that were challenging in the moment, we start to laugh at them because we've excelled and we've moved at such a space and such a place beyond that, that if we don't pay attention to it, if we're not hitting something harder than the hardest, like he said, the hardest thing you've ever had is the hardest thing you've ever had. And if it was your name getting written wrong, that's why if you start to pay attention to humanity, and you start to, when you meet people, when I meet people who have a really tough name to spell, I'll say, wow, can I just have you pause for just a second and take a breath? I'm not going to ask you how to spell that. Or I don't need you to say, I'm Brittany with an I or Brittany with a Y or whatever, because they've had to do that their whole life. They were given a name that people just can't hear. They can't understand. They don't know how to spell. And they've got a response to say, it's blah, 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 blah. People write my name, SHAWN, all the time, here, all the time. What's your name? Sean Murphy. SHAWNMUR. Is it with an IE? However you'd like to spell it. I spell it with a Y. However you'd like to spell it will be fine. The fact that they spelled it wrong doesn't mean you're wrong. I love it. I can't wait for our conversation.
Good stuff for the soul, buddy.
Yay. Anyone else? Last thoughts, comments, questions, takeaways. Why do I get off track with journaling? Oh, well, that's easy. That's so easy. What's the benefit of journaling? That's why you get off track. Yeah, because you're going to be seen. And it's a story. I work hard on that. I want to work hard on that. I want to get better at that. I don't know why I don't. Well, the you that is, here's the thing, Roz. The you that's aware of what you typed, why do I get off track on journaling? The you that knows you're off track is not the you that gets you off track. This is, if there was one thing I could pour into each of you, is the awareness of the I, the part of you, the version of you, the I that knows you're not doing something is not the I that's not doing something. The one who doesn't do the thing is not the same I who's aware of you not doing it. Otherwise, you'd never do it. So we have to name those versions of us. They're multiple personalities. We are multiple person. When I go do the sheet, when I go up and mix the oats and the wheat and the corn into the bucket, and my hand is in there and I'm mixing up this food mixture for them, pouring a little in, mix it. I'm not an international best-selling author. I'm not. I'm the guy who mixes the corn and the wheat and the oats. When I'm sitting petting Artemis, because Artemis comes running up to me, I'm an Artemis petter. When Gizmo was playing with me yesterday and Teddy came close, Teddy's one of the other Rams, and he wanted Teddy to go away, and he kind of did this with his head, and he just grazed my shin, and I've got a 1-inch notch in my shin because he just grazed it, where he scraped the skin, because that's where the bone is right there. So he hit my shin. I was Gizmo's shin hitter. I wasn't an international. I wasn't the 10-year A&MP MC. I wasn't. And we think whenever we see our problems, we're that thing. We're not. It's the awareness of the problem that makes us special. That's why people who are drug addicts don't realize they're drug addicts. Oh, I can handle it. They come up with a story. And then, why do I do this to myself? The one that's the drug addict is not the one that's aware of it. If I could get that across to the people in my audience, your life would transform, would transcend in a moment. Because you got to ask yourself, what's the opposite of the questions you asked? Who do I become when I journal? I don't know. That's probably a clue. Who do I become when I post constantly? I don't know. That would be a clue. Who do I become when I practice speaking? You think maybe you need an event to go speak at. I used to present to the dogs. I would present while I'm on the tractor growing up. I've been public speaking for 40 years, but I was practicing the 10 years previous before I ever started publicly speaking. Practice, practice, practice. Be aware of what you want to practice. Love it, love it, love it. Anyone else? Thoughts, comments, questions, takeaways before I let you go? Adrian, we're on for an hour and a half, yes? You can just type a Y in the chat, or just making sure 9:30 my time. Okay. I hope today finds you amazing. I hope tomorrow, thank you for that. I hope tomorrow brings you more joy than you ever thought possible. What would happen? What would happen if 24 hours from now you received more joy, showed up in your life unexpectedly with ease and comfort? What would change? That's a Wayne Dyer, change the way you look at things, and the things you look at change. I pray the next 24 hours is available to you. And if it is, you have influence over it. What would you want it to look like? What would you want it to feel like? What would you want it to sound like? What would you want it to taste like? Those are all within your decisions and in your vibration. I'm your head brain training. Let's get on with the show, Misfit. I'll see y'all where?
The next event?
At the next event, somebody give me some Costa Rica.
Pura vida.
Pura vida.
La vida. We love you, Mark. And some Lydias.
Peace be with
be
us.
with us.
Be with
And
us.
the queen of helping you transform into new versions of yourself, Jessie Lee Ward.
Boss
Boss
Lee.
Lee, baby.
We love you, girl. And little white fluffy fluffy.
Gurgly, gurgly, gurgly.
All right, everybody, go have some fun today. We'll see you tomorrow. And AJ will set a time. Thanks, brother. Love y'all. Bye for now.
Thank you, Sean. Love you all.
See you, buddy. Love y'all.
Thanks,
Bye for
man.
now.
Talk to you later, Cadillac.